Before we do anything else today, let's do a very simple prostate self-check. In the next 30 seconds, you're going to get a quick snapshot of whether your body may be showing early signs that your prostate deserves more attention. No equipment, no lab work, no complicated medical language, just honest answers. If you are a man over 60, this matters more than most people realize. Prostate changes often begin quietly. They don't always announce themselves with pain. They don't always feel dramatic. And that is exactly why so many men miss them. I'm Dr. James Whitaker, and here is how this works. You're starting with a perfect score of 7 points. I'm going to walk you through 7 silent warning signs. For each one that applies to you, subtract 1 point. At the end, you'll have a clearer sense of whether your symptoms may simply need monitoring, or whether your body may be asking for more attention. And stay with me until the end, because the #1 mistake men make with prostate warning signs is the one that causes the most delay. Let's begin. You start with 7 points. Number 1. Are you waking up more often at night to urinate than you used to? Not just after a late dinner or extra fluids, but as a regular pattern. If yes, subtract 1 point. Number 2. Has your urine stream become weaker, slower, or less forceful than it was a few years ago? If yes, subtract 1 point. Number 3. Do you ever feel like your bladder is not fully empty even after you finish urinating? If yes, subtract 1 point. Number 4. Are you needing to urinate more often during the day, even when your fluid intake has not changed much? If yes, subtract 1 point. Number 5. Do you sometimes feel a sudden urgency, where the need to urinate seems to arrive faster and stronger than it used to? If yes, subtract 1 point. Number 6. Have you started hesitating before your urine stream begins, especially when you know you need to go? If yes, subtract 1 point. Number 7. Do you find yourself quietly changing your routine around bathrooms, sleep, long drives, outings, or evening habits because of urinary concerns? If yes, subtract your final point. Now look at your number. If you scored 6 or 7, that is a relatively strong starting point. You may not be showing many obvious warning signs right now, and that is a good thing. Today's video can still help you protect that. If you scored 4 or 5, your body may be sending early signals. This does not automatically mean something serious is happening, but it does mean your symptoms are worth paying attention to. If you scored 3 or lower, don't panic, and please don't feel embarrassed. Prostate-related changes are extremely common in older men. But when multiple signs begin showing up together, it is often a signal that your body would benefit from a more informed and more proactive approach. Go ahead and let me know in the comments how many of those signs you noticed, how old you are, and where you're watching from. And if one symptom bothers you more than the others, mention that too, because I read the comments and it helps me know what older men are dealing with most. Now let me give you 1 minute of simple science. The prostate is a small gland that sits just below the bladder and surrounds the urethra, which is the tube urine passes through when it leaves the body. That location matters. Because as the prostate changes with age, even mild enlargement or irritation can begin affecting urinary flow. It does not have to be enormous to cause symptoms. Small changes in the wrong place can create big frustration. That is why many men notice urinary symptoms before they ever think, maybe this is my prostate. The issue may first show up as waking at night, a weaker stream, hesitation, urgency, or the nagging feeling that the bladder never fully emptied. These are often functional clues before they feel like a prostate problem. And here is what makes this tricky. Men often normalize these changes because they happen gradually. A symptom that would have concerned you if it appeared overnight may get ignored when it slowly builds over 2 or 3 years. That gradual change is exactly why silent warning signs matter. So now let's go deeper. I want to give you the 3 most important things to do if you're noticing these signs, and we're counting down from number 3 to number 1. Number 3 is symptom awareness without denial. This may sound simple, but it is one of the most powerful steps older men can take. Many men do not actually ignore symptoms because they are careless. They ignore them because the symptoms feel vague. They are not dramatic enough to force action, so they minimize them. Here's what I want you to do. For the next 7 days, pay attention to your pattern. How often are you waking at night? Does your stream feel consistently weak or only sometimes? Are you urinating more often in the morning, the evening, or all day long? Do you feel urgency after coffee, after long sitting, or randomly? What should you notice? You may begin seeing that your symptoms are not random at all. They often follow patterns. And patterns are useful because patterns help you stop guessing. Why does this help? Because vague symptoms become clearer when you observe them. And once symptoms become clearer, decisions become easier. The most common mistake is relying on memory alone. Most men say, I think it's happening more, but they do not actually know how often, when, or what seems to trigger it. If you want an easier version, start with just 2 questions each day. How many times did I wake up last night? And did I feel fully emptied after urinating? Even that small amount of awareness can tell you a lot. Number 2 is reducing the daily habits that quietly irritate the bladder and prostate system. Now let me be careful here. Not every urinary symptom comes from the prostate alone, but older men often worsen symptoms through habits that make the whole urinary system more reactive. Here is the setup. Look at your evening routine first. Large fluid intake late in the day, caffeine, alcohol, and long stretches of sitting can all make urinary symptoms feel worse, especially after 60. Then look at bathroom behavior. Some men go too often just in case. Others wait too long and then rush. Neither extreme helps much. What should you notice when you improve your routine? Often the first changes are small, maybe less urgency, maybe one fewer nighttime trip, maybe less frustration when trying to start your stream. Why does this help? Because the bladder, the prostate, and the pelvic floor all influence one another. If the bladder is irritated, the symptoms feel louder. If your fluid timing is off, nighttime urination often gets worse. If you sit for long periods and remain tense, pelvic pressure may feel more noticeable. The most common mistake is making one change for one day and deciding it did not work. Prostate-related patterns usually respond to consistency, not panic. If you need an easier version, start with 2 things only. Lighten up your late evening fluids and reduce your most obvious bladder irritant. That could be coffee late in the day, alcohol at night, or large drinks close to bedtime. And before we move to number 1, if this video is helping you think more clearly about your prostate health, take a moment to like the video and subscribe to American Urologist. It helps me reach more older men who may be noticing these signs but have never had them explained in a simple way. And if you've made it this far, tell me in the comments which sign you think men ignore the most. Now let's get to number 1. Number 1 is knowing when "I'll wait and see" stops being a smart strategy. This is the most important point in today's video. Some prostate changes are common with aging. That part is true. But common is not the same as something to ignore. When symptoms begin affecting sleep, daily comfort, confidence, travel, or peace of mind, that matters. And when symptoms are clearly progressing, that matters even more. Here is what I want you to watch for. Are your symptoms becoming more frequent? Is your stream getting weaker? Is nighttime urination increasing? Are you straining more? Are you adjusting your life around the bathroom? If those answers are yes, then waiting indefinitely is rarely the best plan. What should you notice emotionally here? Relief, not fear. Because paying attention early often gives men more options, not fewer. Why does this help? Because early evaluation is usually easier than delayed evaluation. A clear discussion with a healthcare professional can help sort out whether the issue sounds more like age-related enlargement, bladder irritation, incomplete emptying, pelvic tension, medication effects, or something else that deserves more focused attention. The most common mistake is waiting until the symptoms become miserable. Men are often willing to tolerate years of disrupted sleep and daily annoyance before they admit the issue is affecting quality of life. If you need an easier version, make yourself one simple promise. If the symptoms continue, worsen, or begin limiting your routine over the next few weeks, you will stop guessing and have the conversation. That is a powerful first step. Now let me give you 3 simple daily habits that support better prostate awareness and bladder comfort. First, be smarter with evening fluids. You do not need to dehydrate yourself, you just want better timing. Many men do better when large drinks are shifted earlier in the day. Second, avoid sitting for too long without movement. Long periods of sitting can make pelvic pressure, bladder irritation, and body tension feel worse. Even brief movement breaks can help reset the system. Third, stop normalizing every urinary change just because of age. Aging can increase risk, yes, but it should not lower your standards for what good function feels like. Now let's close the loop. Think back to your original score. If you notice several of those warning signs, don't just let this become another video you watched and forgot. Recheck yourself in 2 weeks. Pay attention to whether the pattern is stable, improving, or getting more noticeable. Progress matters. So does drift in the wrong direction. Today we walked through 7 silent prostate warning signs that older men often dismiss for too long. We talked about why prostate issues often show up first as bladder and urinary changes. And we covered 3 practical next steps that can help you respond with more clarity and less guesswork. This is not about panic, it is about awareness. Your body often whispers before it shouts, and when men learn to hear those quieter signs earlier, they usually make better decisions, feel more in control, and avoid carrying silent frustration longer than they need to. If this video helped you, share it with another man over 60 who may be brushing off symptoms he really should understand better. And if you want to keep going, watch the next video on your screen, where I'll walk you through the enlarged prostate signs most men miss after 60. I'm Dr. James Whitaker. Stay informed, stay steady, and I'll see you in the next one.